Welcome back, Rankers. Upset a few people last week with the show. If you remember, I reported what I thought looked like paid backlinks on bankwest.com.au and another website. Anyway, a few people got upset and they said it's not a very gentlemanly-like behaviour. Where are you from? 1642? Did you get a time machine? Nor is farting in bed, but I do that as well, I'm told. Look, it's not about gentlemanlike behaviour when it comes to SEO. It's about, especially if you're an agency, it's about getting the best possible result for your client. And if you find that a competitor is breaking Google's terms of service, then sure, I'm going to report you every time in the interests of my client. Now, having said that, has it hurt Bank West? Well, no, it hasn't. Because if you search for credit cards, you can see they're still number one. But what I found interesting was this number two result, mozo.com.au. I hadn't heard of before. A lot of you probably have. But we'll get back to them in a second because something else is happening right now. Matt Cutts, Google's chief anti-spam engineer, announced about 10 days ago some big changes coming to Google. That's a surprise, isn't it? Changes, Google. Oh, boy. Basically, he announced at one of the conferences out there that there's going to be another Penguin update. Now, there's been a few arguments about this, and we've written on sites like dynamicbusiness.com.au, great site, Switzer, a few other sites, about what Penguin was. And a bunch of people have disagreed with me in Australia and said stuff like, that's not what Penguin was about. Well, the difference, if you like, from our perspective, from what we saw, and from what Matt Cutts says, and from what Google says, and from what every other respectable SEO in the world says, is that Panda was about quality, right? Panda was about devaluing pages that were of low quality to the user. Penguin was more about taking away things from a web page that may have given it value. It wasn't a penalisation as such. It was like if you were doing, say, a lot of things like spinning of articles that we've shown before and using backlinks from those articles to your site, Google would take away the value of those backlinks to your site. So if the backlinks you were getting were really low quality, and obviously low quality, that's what was worked into Penguin. Now, what's happened recently with Matt Cutts' announcement, he's saying there's another Penguin update, and it's going to be more jarring, more jolting than ever before. And it's going to upset a lot of SEOs. I'm optimistic that it won't upset us, because the last Penguin update was great for us, as I reported at the time. It came in one morning and all the rankings went up overnight. And I remember it because it was Anzac Day here in Australia. Big day. So, what could they possibly be doing? Well, you would think it being Penguin that it's probably going to be around the backlinking strategies again and trying to work out what's a quality backlink, what's a real backlink, what's not a backlink. And part of those equations come from, is the site that you're getting the backlink from quality? Is the page that you're getting the backlink from quality? So back to this mozo.com.au, and done a little bit of investigation on them. It's headed up by this guy, Rowan Gamble, and turns out when you go and check out his profile on LinkedIn and a few other places, he is former Virgin Money guy, so heavy hitter when it comes to the finance space. But you go and have a look at this site, credit cards. Look, you can see the SEO right there, right? In the page title. In fact, it's better than Bank West, that SEO right there. Because Bank West has got Bank West in the page title, which is, we've explained previously, is totally useless. Unless you want to rank for Bank West, and then if you're doing that, then you've got a whole set of other issues that you have to address. So, you can see here, their brand is right down the end of the page title, where it should be. This is good SEO, right? And, yeah, it's a credit card comparison site. I don't know a lot about it, but when I went and looked at the backlinks, and we got questions on YouTube last week about what's this tool that I'm using to check backlinks. Well, this one is Majestic SEO. It is a professional tool, so it is a paid service. If you want some of the freebies out there, look, there's plenty of them out there. Google them, seriously. Open Site Explorer is one of the most popular. Anyway, have a look at this. You've got, if we just go back a step here, this is the backlinks to mozo.com.au. Have a look at this strategy of backlinking. Back one more step, and another step. 1.7 million backlinks. Wow. I'd never heard of this site before. And occasionally I drop in and do a credit cards search because it does move around a lot because it's spammy techniques are employed by some companies, then they disappear, then they come back. Mortgage broker is another good one to do this test on. And you look at the referring domains, though, it's only 5,000. 5,000 referring domains giving 1.7 million backlinks. That's a lot. When you go and have a look at these sorts of backlinks, though, look at the sites that are giving them backlinks. Domain.com.au, that's a big Fairfax property, a real estate site. Investsmart.com.au. Big Pond Money, that's a Telstra site. Business Day, I don't know who they are. Who else? Home Price Guide, right? These are all sites, presumably talking about finance and money, linking to a credit card site. Why would they do that? Well, you look at some of the anchor text in these links that they're getting. Well, powered by Mozo, but Mozo powered rates widget. Okay, that's interesting. There we have it again. Mozo powered Mozo. So what I immediately see there is that they have created a widget that they're obviously offering freely, presumably, to, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they're paying to have these widgets on their site. Maybe this is advertising. Maybe this is paid links. I don't know. But one of the ones that I saw that was really interesting, one of the backlinks they were getting, was this one. Mozo, Best Bank, ING Direct, big international bank, right? They're linking to mozo.com because they won an award from Mozo. It's a really old technique, and it's a great one. So, what I'm saying to you, if you can find something in your niche where you can give people awards, make them real, they've got to be genuine, you've got to believe it, you can't just go and give, well, I don't know how they've rated this, but you've got to have a legitimate reason to give one of these awards. And when people click on this link, this is interesting, it's just going to the front page. But people want to display awards, right, on their site. So, yeah, is it a trick? Sure. Is it legitimate? Yeah. Because it does a couple of things for your brand. Number one, it establishes you as a brand worthy of bestowing an award on someone. That's a good thing. Number two, it gives you a backlink from a site that is related to your industry. So the idea would be, you don't go and award competitors, right? That would be stupid. However, look at what Mozo have done. They do credit cards, but they do a whole bunch of different credit cards, right? They do all these comparisons. And then they award banks. So what would be a similar... Well, let's say you're in the pet grooming business. Maybe you go and award pet food sites, like some of the scientific pet food or dog wash services. Well, not dog wash because you're in pet grooming. Kennel services, related industries to what you're doing. But you have to research. You can't just go, here's an award, here's an award, here's an award. Backlinks, thanks. Because then the credibility goes out the door, right? You need the credibility. This is a good backlinking strategy. I'm not sure about all the widget stuff. And in fact, one of the comments that we got on last week's blog was someone saying, because one of the techniques out there to get backlinks is to guest blog, right? Like we do around the place. And, as I said at the time on this comment thing here, it's like, well, technically it's kind of a paid link because you're doing that piece of content for free, essentially, in exchange for a backlink. So you were giving of your time. You were paying with your time and effort to get a backlink. So you could argue that's paid links, right? But here's the big difference. It's actually contributing to that site as well. So you're actually giving something to the readers of that site. You're actually producing something that is of use, and the site is linking to you as a thank you for it, as opposed to, can I rent some space on your site, please? All right? So it's a fine line. It's a really fine line. But what this announcement from Matt Cutts says to me is that it's going to get even finer. So stop anything you're doing of buying backlinks would be my advice. Even if you don't think Google can detect it. And especially if you're contracting out and you don't know where they're going, be really careful of that. Because that's the thing that could come and slap you up the side of the head before you know it. Now, when do we expect this update? Imminent. That's Matt Cutts' word. And their engineers have been working very hard on this thing. So I would expect that probably first week of September. So watch this space. And that is it for this week's show. If you have any questions, leave a comment on YouTube, whatever video, Daily Motion, Vidlo, whatever you're watching this through. On the blog, you can just comment with your Facebook ID. And hey, if you like the video on YouTube and you watch things through YouTube, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you liked it, of course. And if you didn't like it, please don't do anything. And we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.